The alien fleet had retreated beyond the outer reaches of the solar system. For the first time in decades, Earth was not only safe, it was feared and respected. The hidden dreadnoughts had emerged from their silent guardianship, revealing humanity's power to a galaxy that had long underestimated it. Commander Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the lead dreadnought, watching the stars stretch endlessly ahead. The battle had not been one of total destruction. Rather, it had been a demonstration of intelligence, precision, and restraint. Humanity had shown that strength was not measured only in weapons, but in the wisdom to use them responsibly. "Commander," Dr. Liana Ray said, moving beside him, "the alien fleet has sent formal communication. They are requesting a truce and they want to negotiate." Ward's eyes narrowed. "Truce? That's good. But we will negotiate from strength, not fear." The Galactic Peace Council quickly convened, and for the first time humanity was treated as an equal among the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. Representatives from distant worlds watched in awe as the hidden dreadnoughts, massive and gleaming, positioned themselves in orbit as a symbol of both power and restraint. Admiral Kale Tor addressed the council. "Humanity has long been underestimated. Their hidden fleets were designed for defense, yet they have used them not to destroy, but to demonstrate capability. We must recognize their right to protect themselves and their wisdom in doing so." Earth's human representatives stood tall. They had fought no conventional war in this confrontation, yet the galaxy had learned a lesson in humility. Humanity's strength had always been underestimated, and now it could not be ignored. Meanwhile, the crews of the dreadnoughts adjusted to their new reality. Many had awakened from decades of cryosleep, finding the galaxy unfamiliar and strange. Cities had grown, alliances had shifted, and technologies had advanced. Yet despite the changes, the human spirit remained unbroken. These crews, once meant for war, now had a mission for peace, to ensure Earth remained secure while proving that intelligence and courage could guide strength. Ward walked through the corridors of one of the dreadnoughts, observing the crew as they adapted. "This is a new beginning," he said quietly. "Not a war, but a chance to show the galaxy who we truly are. Humanity is not only resilient, we are intelligent, resourceful, and responsible." Liana Ray joined him. "The dreadnoughts are more than just ships now," she said. "They are symbols of human ingenuity, and they have already learned from the crews. Their AI systems are now integrated, understanding strategy, tactics, and even the moral responsibilities of those who command them." Ward smiled faintly. "Then they are no longer just tools, they are partners in our defense. And together we will ensure Earth's place in the galaxy is respected." The alien fleets, now observing from a distance, sent envoys to discuss peace treaties. These negotiations were cautious but respectful. Leaders of other civilizations realized that humanity was no longer a minor or vulnerable species. The hidden dreadnoughts had changed perceptions overnight. Earth was now a power to be reckoned with, a civilization that could defend itself with precision and strategy. Negotiations were long but productive. Trade agreements, mutual defense pacts, and cooperation on scientific projects became possible in ways they had not before. Humanity's hidden strength allowed it to participate on equal terms, no longer the overlooked planet it had once been. At the lunar base, Ward and Liana reviewed the reports. "We've done more than defend Earth," Ward said. "We've reshaped the galaxy's understanding of us. And we've done it without starting a war." "That is our true victory," Liana nodded. "The dreadnoughts are now integrated into Earth's defense network. AI and human crews working together. We can monitor and protect, and if necessary, respond. But our strength also gives us the opportunity to lead wisely, to show other civilizations that power can be responsible." Ward turned to the stars once more. "That is the lesson we must carry forward. Humanity's strength is not just in firepower. It is in strategy, intelligence, and the will to defend, not to dominate. The galaxy has learned that, and now we must live up to it." Life on Earth began to change subtly. Citizens were aware now that their planet had awakened powers long hidden. Scientific institutions flourished, inspired by the demonstration of human ingenuity. Children learned that Earth was not only a home, but also a guardian in the galaxy. Peace became more than a hope, it became a responsibility. The hidden dreadnoughts, while fully operational, became part of this new era of peace. Patrolling the outer solar system, observing trade routes and standing as silent sentinels, they symbolized the balance of power. No longer weapons of fear, They were reminders of what humanity could achieve with foresight, preparation, and wisdom. Ward visited each dreadnought, speaking to the crews. "You have awakened to a galaxy that does not recognize you," he said. "But your training, your courage, and your discipline have shown the galaxy what humanity is. We are not to be underestimated, and we will continue to protect Earth not just for ourselves, but for all who depend on peace." Liana Ray continued her work on the AI systems, refining their operations for both defense and exploration. "These ships can now assist in scientific missions," she explained to Ward, "mapping stars, observing anomalies, and aiding colonies. They are powerful, yes, but their intelligence can be used to benefit life across the galaxy, not just to fight." Ward nodded. "That is the future we want. Strength, but guided by wisdom. Power, but used responsibly. Humanity has finally found its voice among the stars." As months passed, Earth's presence became more visible in galactic affairs. Diplomatic missions were respected, treaties were taken seriously, and Earth's scientific contributions grew. The dreadnoughts, once hidden and silent, now served as both guardians and symbols of human resilience and ingenuity. The galaxy had thought the war was over. It had believed Earth was too weak to matter. But the hidden dreadnoughts had emerged, and humanity had proven that strength and intelligence were inseparable. At the lunar base, Ward and Liana stood side by side, observing a distant star cluster. "We've done what few could imagine," Liana said softly. "We've changed perceptions. We've awakened not just ships, but a new era." Ward's eyes reflected the starlight. "And this is only the beginning. Humanity has been underestimated for too long. Now the galaxy will never forget us, not for our weapons alone, but for the courage, intelligence, and resolve that created them." The stars above Earth shone silently, but they now witnessed a planet reborn. Humanity had emerged from the shadow of past wars, stronger and wiser. The hidden dreadnoughts, silent giants no longer forgotten, stood as reminders of what humanity could achieve when foresight met determination. Peace, it seemed, was no longer just a hope. It was a responsibility. Humanity would carry that responsibility into the galaxy, respected, prepared, and always vigilant. And in the quiet of the lunar base, Commander Ward whispered, "We were never weak. The galaxy just had to see it for itself." As the first dreadnoughts patrolled the outer planets and the human crews continued to adapt and learn, Earth's place among the stars was secure. The galaxy had learned a lesson: underestimate humanity at your peril. The war had ended long ago, but the era of human strength had only just begun, and humanity, finally recognized for its resilience and intelligence, would never again be forgotten. The grand hall of the Galactic Council gleamed with lights of countless stars, reflected in polished metallic walls. Leaders from hundreds of civilizations gathered in their finest attire, their ships displayed on the enormous holographic screens above. Every species present had fleets of stunning design, sleek curves, gleaming alloys, and weapons that hummed with barely contained power. Yet in the midst of all this perfection, humanity's ships appeared, unusual. The human fleet floated quietly in the display zone, its ships uneven in shape, bulky in places, and adorned with attachments that seemed randomly placed. Some of the council members whispered among themselves, and a few outright laughed. They could not comprehend how such seemingly primitive vessels could ever stand against their well-crafted armadas. Admiral Kira Lawson, head of the human delegation, stood tall beside the flagship Resolute. Her eyes scanned the crowd, calm and unwavering. She had expected ridicule. Every human officer had. What the aliens did not know was that these ugly ships hid strengths far beyond what appearances suggested. The first to speak was Ambassador Trell of the Rylax Dominion, a species famous for its pride and technological elegance. "I must ask, Admiral Lawson," Trell began, his voice dripping with polite disdain, "are these your warships? They appear irregular, quite unrefined, one might say. Surely you must have better vessels than these." Kira's lips curved into a polite smile. "These are our main fleet, Ambassador. They may not look as polished as yours, but they are built to endure, adapt, and protect. We believe in substance over appearance." A ripple of laughter echoed through the hall. Trell's mandibles clicked in amusement. "Endure, adapt? How quaint. Perhaps humans still think battle is fought with courage alone rather than engineering. We will watch with interest." The laughter spread. Delegates from other advanced species joined in, comparing the human ships to their own masterpieces. Triangular star cruisers, gleaming spheres, and winged frigates dwarfed the humans' oddly shaped vessels. Some ships seemed patched together, with extra modules jutting at odd angles. It was almost as if they had been assembled by hand rather than precision engineering. Kira felt a twinge of irritation, but held her composure. "Judging by appearance alone," she said softly, enough for nearby observers to hear, "often leads to underestimating what is truly capable." The council's session continued, and the aliens discussed humanity in whispers and gestures. "Primitive," one of the Zarathi muttered. "Ugly, pathetic," hissed another. Humans had long known that their fleet would not impress by looks alone. Earth's engineers had worked tirelessly on a different kind of strength, one the galaxy could not yet perceive. After the formal presentations ended, Kira and her officers retreated to a quieter section of the council chambers. Lieutenant Raj Patel, a young but brilliant strategist, shook his head. "It's worse than we expected. Did you see the Lyranians? They practically rolled their eyes. And the Tylari just laughed outright." Kira allowed herself a small smile. "Good. That means they have no idea what is coming. Let them think we are weak. Our strength is not for display." Raj raised an eyebrow. "You're sure the secret fleet is ready?" Kira nodded firmly. "Every ship, every crew, every system has been prepared for the moment it matters. The Council sees only what we allow them to see. The rest is hidden until it counts." Meanwhile, the Council continued its judgment. Ambassadors debated the human problem, as if discussing some trivial insect species. Few could believe that such irregular ships could navigate combat effectively, let alone triumph in strategic scenarios. As the sun set over the massive domed city orbiting the Council planet, humans returned to their chambers. Here, hidden away from the dismissive eyes of alien leaders, a different scene unfolded. Massive starship hangars stretched for miles, housing vessels that dwarfed the small fleet seen at the Council. These were not ugly. They were extraordinary, sleek, imposing, and bristling with technology that even the most advanced alien species would struggle to counter. In the hangar, engineers and pilots moved with quiet efficiency. Holographic interfaces displayed fleet formations, tactical simulations, and the latest upgrades. These ships, built in secret, were the true pride of humanity, vessels designed not for elegance but for adaptability, resilience, and clever tactics. They were the kind of fleet that could appear out of nowhere, strike with precision, and vanish before the enemy could comprehend what had happened. Captain Lena Joe, in charge of one of the hidden strike teams, walked along the hangar deck inspecting her crew. "Remember," she said, her voice firm yet encouraging, "the Empire believes we are nothing. That belief will be their mistake. Our ships may not look impressive at first glance, but every weapon, shield, and maneuver has been tested and perfected." Young recruits nodded, their eyes shining with determination. They had grown up hearing stories of human resilience, how Earth had survived countless natural disasters, plagues, and even conflicts against technologically superior forces. The legend of humanity was not built on appearances. It was built on ingenuity, courage, and an unyielding will to survive. Hours later, in her private quarters, Kira looked out at the stars. Billions of points of light stretched into infinity, each a potential threat or ally. She reflected on the Council's laughter and the dismissive attitudes of the galactic elite. "They do not understand us," she murmured. "They see the surface, but they cannot imagine the depth beneath." A soft chime interrupted her thoughts. Her communications officer, Jaren, appeared on the holoscreen. "Admiral, we've received a signal. It's faint and irregular, but it appears to be a distress call from the outer colonies near the Orion Belt." Kira's eyes sharpened. "Show me." The holographic projection revealed a small colony, barely visible against the backdrop of gas clouds and star clusters. The transmission was fragmented, with repeated warnings of incoming threats. Alien ships, unidentified and hostile, were approaching. The colony's defenses were outdated and the settlers were unarmed. Raj, who had joined the briefing, frowned. "The Empire won't intervene this far out. They'll consider it insignificant. But the aliens, they could wipe it out in hours." Kira's expression hardened. "Then it is up to us. We do not wait for permission. Humanity protects its own and the innocent. Prepare a reconnaissance team. We'll assess the situation and decide our next move. As the human fleet prepared to depart, small teams of engineers and tactical officers worked to adjust shields, calibrate weapons, and simulate possible encounters. The Council may have seen only weak, ugly ships, but here, in hidden hangars, humans prepared for the unknown with precision and care. Every calculation, every maneuver was designed to maximize efficiency and minimize risk. The launch of the first ships was quiet but swift. One by one, human vessels slid out of hangar bays into the black void of space. Their forms, while still less visually perfect than the Empire's designs, carried a quiet strength. Engineers had sacrificed aesthetic for performance, and every module, sensor, and weapon was optimized for adaptability. As the fleet left orbit, Kira addressed her crew. Remember this moment. Out there, the galaxy may laugh at us. It may mock our designs, our habits, even our courage. But we know who we are. We know what we can do. Let them underestimate us. They will soon learn that strength is not always visible on the surface. The stars stretched endlessly before them, each light a challenge, a mystery, or a potential battlefield. Humanity's journey had only just begun. Out there, the galaxy awaited, unaware that the so-called ugly ships of Earth carried the ingenuity, determination, and courage of an entire species. In the dark expanse, the first signals of the approaching threat flickered across human sensors. The battle for survival and recognition was about to begin, and humanity, underestimated and ridiculed, was ready. The Council may have laughed, but the galaxy would soon understand. Humans were not to be judged by appearances, and the true strength of Earth lay hidden in the heart of its people, and the ships they had forged in secret. The human fleet cut silently through the vast darkness of space, the stars stretching endlessly in every direction. The distant colony near the Orion belt flickered on their sensors, its faint light struggling against the surrounding void. The distress signal was weak but urgent, carrying the unmistakable tone of panic. Kira Lawson stood on the bridge of the Resolute, watching the readings with steady eyes. "This colony is small," Lieutenant Raj Patel said, his finger tracing the holographic map. "They have minimal defenses, no real fleet. If the attackers are fast, they could destroy it before we arrive." Kira nodded. "Which is why we need precision. No heroics, no mistakes. Every ship in our fleet must act as one." The fleet had grown since the Council's summit. Small vessels, agile and fast, moved alongside larger command ships and cargo haulers retrofitted for battle. Their shapes still looked unusual to anyone who judged by appearance alone. But every curve, every jutting module had a purpose. Captain Lena Jo, commanding one of the hidden strike teams, glanced at her crew. "This is what we trained for," she said firmly. "Remember your drills. Move as one. React, adapt, and protect each other. The enemy will expect us to be slow and clumsy. We'll prove them wrong." The first signs of danger appeared on long-range sensors, an unidentified fleet approaching the colony. Their ships were dark and angular, weapons glowing ominously. They moved with coordinated efficiency, but not with the creativity humans valued in tactics. Raj frowned. "They're professional but predictable. If we play this carefully, we can protect the colony and study their approach. Kira, how do you want to engage?" Kira's mind raced. She knew a direct confrontation could risk civilian lives. "We do not engage blindly. Split the fleet into two groups. One group will draw their attention. The other will protect the colony and evacuate civilians if necessary. Timing is everything." The orders were transmitted instantly, and the fleet adjusted its formation. Humans worked together with a synchronicity born of years of coordination. Pilots trusted one another completely, each movement calculated and precise. While the enemy fleet looked formidable, their lack of adaptability became immediately apparent. The first skirmish occurred near a gas giant. Humans used the planet's gravitational pull to enhance their speed, swinging their smaller ships in unpredictable arcs. Enemy sensors registered the unusual maneuvers as errors, underestimating the humans' true skill. Captain Joe's team struck first. They fired a series of electromagnetic pulses at the lead enemy vessel, temporarily disabling its shields. The rest of her squadron moved in tight formation, striking weak points that had never been targeted in the enemy's training. Explosions lit up the void, but human ships emerged unharmed, their adaptive shields absorbing feedback and dispersing energy efficiently. On the bridge of the Resolute, Kira observed the results. Good, keep them off balance. Remember, they rely on their technology alone. Our advantage is creativity and teamwork. Meanwhile, the colony's inhabitants watched from observation platforms, unaware of the full scale of the approaching battle. Families gathered in shelters, clutching their children as alarms blared. When the first human ships arrived, they appeared small and awkward compared to the enemy vessels. But their precise movements and sudden strikes quickly turned the tide. A young engineer, Jalen Ortiz, monitored energy flows from a nearby control station. Admiral, their weapons are strong but predictable. Our drones can intercept most attacks, and our maneuvers are keeping civilians safe. Kira allowed herself a brief nod. Excellent. Let's keep the pressure. We cannot let the colony suffer. The enemy commander, a cold and calculating alien known as Vorthak, realized something unusual was happening. These humans are clever, he muttered to his officers. They do not fight like the others. Their formations are irregular but effective. Adapt and counter, do not underestimate them, but it was too late. The human fleet had already begun to exploit weaknesses in the enemy formation. Using swarming tactics, smaller ships distracted the main forces while specialized drones sabotaged engines and communications. The alien fleet, despite superior numbers, became confused and disorganized. Captain Joe's team executed a daring maneuver. Flying through a dense asteroid belt, they disappeared from enemy sensors only to reappear behind the enemy line. From this position, they launched precision strikes on the alien command vessels, forcing the enemy into retreat. Admiral, the colony is safe for now, Lieutenant Patel reported, relief evident in his voice. The attackers are withdrawing. Kira allowed herself a small smile but remained vigilant. Do not relax. This was only one engagement. They may regroup or others may come, but this confirms what we have always known. Appearances can be deceiving. Back at the colony, human ships assisted in repairs and medical aid. The settlers, initially terrified, now watched in awe as the ugly ships moved efficiently, their crews working tirelessly to protect lives and restore order. Children pointed at the vessels with wide eyes. Mom, look! The funny-looking ship saved us, one of them exclaimed. Kira walked among the colonists briefly, her presence reassuring. You are safe now, she told them. Humanity will always protect those who cannot protect themselves. Our ships may look strange, but they were built for purpose, and purpose is stronger than beauty. While the immediate threat had been neutralized, Kira knew the galaxy was watching. Sensors had detected alien observers, likely from the Empire, who had witnessed the engagement from afar. Their reports would reach Imperial Command soon, and the Council's previous laughter would turn to curiosity, and perhaps concern. Captain Joe addressed her crew after the battle. This was our first real test in the field. You all performed exceptionally. Remember what we did today. Remember that teamwork, ingenuity, and courage are our greatest weapons. The galaxy thinks we are weak, but today we showed them otherwise. Lieutenant Patel nodded, looking out at the stars. I think they'll start questioning their judgment. If one colony can be defended like this, imagine what humanity could do on a larger scale. Kira returned to the Resolute, deep in thought. The battle had been a success, but it was only the beginning. The Empire and other galactic powers had dismissed humanity as weak and unpolished. That perception was now dangerous, for them. In a secure communications channel, Kira sent a discreet message to Earth Command. Assessment. Fleet performance excellent. Enemy underestimated human tactics. Colony secured. Recommend continued observation of Imperial reactions. Humanity's presence will be felt soon. Back in the hangars, engineers made minor adjustments to ships, refining shields and recalibrating weapons. The hidden fleet, though now slightly revealed, remained largely secret. Its true strength was far greater than the aliens could imagine, and humans were determined to keep it that way until the moment it truly mattered. Late at night, aboard the Resolute, Kira reflected on the events. She thought of the Council's laughter, the dismissive gestures of alien leaders, and the mocking comments about the appearance of her fleet. Those moments now seemed almost distant, like the echo of a world that did not yet understand humanity. They see only what they want, she whispered to herself, but they will learn, eventually. As the human fleet resumed patrol around the Orion Belt, another distress signal appeared on sensors, faint but unmistakable. This one came from a neighboring system, further out than the first. Kira's eyes narrowed. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown threats and opportunities. Each challenge was a chance to prove humanity's worth, not by the elegance of ships, but by the courage, ingenuity, and determination of its people. She turned to her officers. "Prepare the fleet. We move at first light. Humanity's duty is not to be admired, it is to act. And act we shall." The stars shimmered as if responding, endless and full of mystery. Humanity, underestimated and mocked, was now a force quietly shaping its own destiny. The galaxy had laughed at their ugly ships. But the first battle had shown that strength could hide behind even the most unassuming appearance. And in that hidden strength, the true spirit of humanity thrived, ready to face the challenges of a universe that had not yet learned to respect them. The news of the human fleet's success spread faster than anyone expected. Within hours, reports of the daring rescue in the Orion Belt reached the distant command centers of the Galactic Empire. Initially, Imperial officers shrugged it off as exaggeration. After all, the humans had ugly ships and no reputation as a significant military power. But as the reports accumulated, a sense of unease began to ripple through Imperial command. Communications intercepted from the attacked aliens detailed precise strikes, clever maneuvers, and near-perfect coordination by the human fleet. Even seasoned analysts struggled to explain how these small, unconventional ships had overcome a larger, more experienced enemy force. Admiral Varan of the Imperial Navy frowned at the holoscreen displaying battle analysis. "This cannot be," he muttered, tapping commands to replay the engagement. "These humans, they should have been destroyed. Their ships, awkward, inefficient. How did they succeed?" Colonel Drax, standing beside him, answered sharply. "Admiral, our reports show that their formations are irregular but effective. They use the environment, asteroid belts, gravitational pulls, and coordinated attacks with extreme precision. It is unlike anything we have seen." Varan scowled. "They are dangerous. Their victory over a minor colony should have been insignificant, but their efficiency, it is alarming. Prepare for increased reconnaissance. We must know the true strength of these humans." Meanwhile, across human space, Admiral Kira Lawson monitored the Empire's movements through covert channels. She knew that the Council's laughter would soon turn to concern. "They will come," she told her officers. "The Empire never ignores strength for long. We must be ready," Lieutenant Raj Patel nodded. "They'll send observers first, maybe small fleets to test us. But the humans' ability to adapt, they won't understand it until it is too late." Captain Lena Joe's squadron trained relentlessly, preparing for rapid deployments, ambushes, and defensive maneuvers. "They think we are predictable," she said. "We will show them that our strength is in thinking differently. Every fight is a puzzle, and we know how to solve it better than they do." The first direct Imperial observation came in the form of a sleek, triangular cruiser, the Obsidian Dawn, appearing near human-controlled space. Its sensors scanned the human fleet, analyzing formations and ship performance. Its captain, Commander Velrix, a seasoned veteran of the Empire's campaigns, was confident. "They are small, poorly designed ships," Velrix said, addressing his officers. "Hardly a threat. Observe and report. We will see how they handle minor engagements." But the humans were ready. Kira had anticipated the Empire's curiosity. The fleet formed a complex pattern, making it appear scattered and uncoordinated to outside observers. Then, when the Imperial sensors thought they had gathered enough data, the humans executed a series of maneuvers that revealed their true coordination. Ships converged with precise timing, shields overlapping, weapons striking at weak points simultaneously. Commander Velrix's eyes widened. "Impossible. Their formations, it's not random, it is tactical genius." Kira watched from the Resolute, calm and focused. "Let them watch," she said. "Let them think they understand us. Observation alone will not prepare them for what comes." The next encounter tested human strategy on a larger scale. Reports reached Kira of multiple rogue alien fleets moving toward unprotected colonies. The humans responded immediately. Smaller, agile ships carried out reconnaissance, while heavier vessels took strategic positions, blocking paths and creating safe corridors for evacuation. In the midst of this, a large alien ship attempted a direct assault. It fired a concentrated energy beam at a human frigate, expecting an easy kill. But the ship, equipped with adaptive shielding, dispersed the energy harmlessly. In a swift counter, human drones sabotaged the alien ship's engines, forcing it to retreat. Lieutenant Patel smiled at the readouts. Every move they make is precise. They can predict and counter the enemy's reactions almost before they happen. Kira's voice was calm but firm. That is why the Empire cannot dismiss us. We do not rely on overwhelming numbers or flashy technology. We rely on thought, coordination, and adaptability. That is the human advantage. Imperial Command grew restless. Reports of human interventions in multiple sectors, all successful, forced the Empire to reconsider their perception. Ships once considered ugly and inefficient were proving to be highly effective in combat and protection missions. Admiral Varan called a meeting with his top strategists. Humans cannot be underestimated, he declared. They are proving capable of defending entire colonies with minimal resources. Their fleet is smaller but smarter. We need a comprehensive analysis and contingency plans. Colonel Drax nodded. Admiral, we must prepare for direct engagement. If they can defeat these rogue fleets, what stops them from challenging Imperial forces? Varan's expression hardened. Nothing. That is the troubling part. The humans are no longer insignificant. We will monitor them closely, but I fear our old assumptions are flawed. We may have laughed at them once. We will not do it again. Meanwhile, humans continued their operations, always careful to avoid unnecessary provocation while demonstrating capability. Each engagement reinforced their reputation. Pilots began to understand the real power of their ships: flexibility, resilience, and the ability to turn even seemingly desperate situations into triumphs. At a remote colony in the Orpheus sector, Kira coordinated a large-scale evacuation. Alien raiders attempted to block escape routes, but human ships used environmental tactics, swinging around moons, hiding in asteroid fields, and using gravitational anomalies to confuse and outmaneuver the attackers. Civilians were moved safely, while the alien forces were forced to retreat. Captain Joe's squadron executed a daring maneuver through a dense nebula. Enemy sensors were useless against the interference, and human ships struck from unexpected angles. By the time the aliens regrouped, the humans had already completed their objectives and disappeared into safe territory. Back aboard the Resolute, Kira addressed her officers. Today's operations have proven what we have always known. The galaxy may underestimate us, but skill, preparation, and unity are more powerful than any ship's appearance. Every colony we protect, every mission we complete, strengthens humanity's position in this galaxy. Lieutenant Patel spoke up. Admiral, the Empire is now actively monitoring us. They've likely realized that their previous assumptions were wrong. They may act sooner than we expected. Kira nodded. Let them. Observation alone will not teach them our full capability. When the time comes, we will reveal our strength in a way they cannot ignore. As the human fleet regrouped near the Orion Belt, a sense of quiet confidence settled over the crews. They had faced multiple threats, protected colonies, and demonstrated their tactical brilliance. The galaxy's elite had started to take notice, and whispers of humans with unconventional strength began to circulate among alien species. Admiral Lawson knew this was only the beginning. The Empire's curiosity and concern would soon turn to action, and when that moment arrived, humans would be ready. Their ugly ships were no longer a source of mockery. They were a hidden weapon, a testament to the ingenuity and courage of an entire species. In the quiet hours before the next deployment, Kira walked the bridge, observing her officers at work. Every holographic display, every tactical calculation, every subtle adjustment of the fleet reflected the precision and thoughtfulness of humanity. This was not a fleet built for show. It was a fleet built for survival, protection, and triumph. She allowed herself a moment of reflection. The Empire laughed at us, she whispered, but laughter cannot defeat determination. The galaxy has underestimated humanity. Soon they will learn that strength is not measured by beauty, but by courage, intelligence, and unity. A soft chime from the communications panel interrupted her thoughts. Lieutenant Patel reported, Admiral, new intelligence has arrived. Multiple systems have requested assistance. The Empire is sending scouts toward these regions. They are curious and cautious. Kira's eyes gleamed with determination. Then we move. Protect the colonies. Study the Empire's response and refine our tactics. Every engagement teaches us more. Humanity's place in the galaxy is not given. It is earned. As the fleet set course for the next mission, stars streaked past the viewports, reminders of the vastness of space and the challenges ahead. Humanity, once dismissed and laughed at, was now a force quietly shaping its own destiny. The Empire's observers could watch, speculate, and even prepare, but they had yet to understand the depth of human ingenuity, and in the hidden coordination, daring maneuvers, and unwavering courage of humanity's crews. The first signs of a revolution in perception had already begun. The galaxy would not soon forget the day when humanity, underestimated and mocked, began to show its true strength. The human fleet moved silently through the void of space, each ship a carefully calculated component of a larger plan. Intelligence reports had confirmed that the Galactic Empire would no longer remain passive. Admiral Kira Lawson studied the data with calm determination. The Empire had underestimated humanity for too long, and now they intended to confront them directly. Sensors confirm a large Imperial fleet approaching, Lieutenant Raj Patel reported. Their numbers are at least 3 times ours, and they have heavy firepower. They expect an easy victory. Kira's expression remained unchanged. Then they are in for a surprise, she said. Prepare all ships for combat. This is our moment to show that humanity's strength is more than appearances. Every vessel must follow their training precisely. Coordination and adaptability will be our greatest weapons. Captain Lena Zhou's strike team readied their ships, sleek yet unconventional, designed to perform maneuvers impossible for the Empire's rigid vessels. They will expect straightforward attacks, she said to her pilots. They will not anticipate strategy, deception, and surprise. Remember, every move counts. The Imperial fleet emerged from hyperspace in a formation meant to intimidate. Massive cruisers lined the front, while sleek destroyers flanked the sides. Sensors glowed red as energy weapons charged, creating a field of menace visible even from kilometers away. Commander Velrix, in his flagship Obsidian Dawn, observed the human fleet. They are small, uneven, and poorly designed, he sneered to his officers. This will be over before it begins. Engage on my mark. But Kira had anticipated their arrogance. The humans split into several groups, each performing unpredictable maneuvers. Smaller ships darted among asteroids. Large vessels rotated unpredictably to present shields at unexpected angles, and drones deployed to confuse enemy sensors. To the Empire, it appeared as chaos, but it was coordinated chaos controlled with precision. The first shots were fired, and the battle erupted in a flash of light and energy. The Imperial fleet unleashed volleys of plasma bolts and laser beams, expecting to overwhelm the humans immediately. But the human ships, with adaptive shields, absorbed and dispersed the energy while simultaneously striking weak points in the enemy formation. Captain Zhou's team executed a daring maneuver through a dense asteroid field. Using the debris for cover, they ambushed the Imperial flanking destroyers. Missiles fired from concealed launch points disabled engines and communication arrays, leaving the Empire scrambling to respond. On the bridge of the Resolute, Kira watched the enemy reactions carefully. They are trying to reorganize, she said. We need to keep them off balance. Send the second strike group in through the gravitational pocket near the planet. Timing must be perfect. Lieutenant Patel calculated the trajectories. All systems ready. Execution in 3, 2, 1. A coordinated wave of human ships emerged from the gravitational pocket, striking the enemy rear. Imperial cruisers designed for strength rather than agility were caught off guard. Damage spread quickly as human ships avoided direct confrontation while striking precisely at vital points. Commander Velrix was furious. How is this possible? These humans, they are everywhere at once. They are not everywhere, his second-in-command corrected. They are using coordination we cannot anticipate. Our formations are ineffective against their adaptability. Meanwhile, civilian colonies in nearby systems watched in awe and fear. Holographic news feeds showed humans using the environment, asteroids, planets, and nebulae, to their advantage, turning every obstacle into a tool for defense or offense. Children pointed at the screens, whispering to their parents, "Look, Mom, the funny ships are amazing." Even as they engaged the Empire, human crews maintained protection for these colonies. Rescue missions, energy shields, and evacuation corridors were all executed with precision. Humanity's priority was clear. Victory was important, but saving lives was essential. As the battle raged, the Resolute maneuvered close to the enemy flagship. Kira knew that disabling the command vessel would create chaos among the Imperial forces. Using a combination of cloaked drones and energy-disrupting devices, her team bypassed the flagship's shields and struck critical systems. Explosions rocked the Obsidian Dawn, forcing Velrix to retreat temporarily. "This is unprecedented," Lieutenant Patel exclaimed. "We've disabled their command ship without direct confrontation. The rest of their fleet is disorganized." Kira remained calm. "Stay focused. The battle is not over until every threat is neutralized or forced to retreat. Protect each other and follow strategy." Captain Joe's squadron pursued remaining enemy ships through a dense nebula. Using stealth technology, they appeared and disappeared, striking key vessels and then vanishing. The Empire's fleet, despite superior firepower, could not predict human movements. Every attempt to regroup was met with another well-timed strike. Another clever maneuver that exploited rigidity over adaptability. In the chaos of battle, a young human pilot, Kai Ramirez, executed a maneuver that would become legendary. His small fighter weaved between massive Imperial cruisers, disabling their weapon systems with precision laser shots. Kai's movement seemed impossible, a dance through destruction that left the enemy bewildered. Back on the Resolute, Kira observed the engagement through multiple hollow-views. "Every move we make teaches them a lesson they will not forget," she said. "Strength is not only in size or firepower. Strength is intelligence, unity, and courage." Imperial Command struggled to regain control. Officers argued over the strange tactics of humanity's fleet. They had expected straightforward combat and instead faced a force that used creativity, deception, and adaptability. Every attack they planned was countered. Every weak point they exploited had already been protected. Finally, after hours of relentless engagement, the Imperial fleet began a cautious withdrawal. Damage was extensive, morale shaken. Even Velrix, once so confident, realized that the humans were not a minor obstacle. They were a force that could challenge the might of the Empire itself. Kira signaled her fleet to cease offensive maneuvers. "Let them retreat," she said. "We have proven our point. Humanity's fleet is effective and we have saved the colonies. Further pursuit is unnecessary." Captain Joe returned to the Resolute, her squadron intact but exhilarated. "They expected an easy fight," she said. "Instead, we turned their assumptions against them. Every human ship performed perfectly." Kira nodded. "This is just the beginning. The Empire will regroup, study our tactics, and likely try again. But today they learned a lesson. Appearance is not strength, and humanity is not weak." In the aftermath, the colonies celebrated the human fleet. Ships moved to repair systems, distribute supplies, and ensure safety. Holographic messages from grateful colonists flooded the fleet, thanking the humans for their courage and ingenuity. Children waved from observation decks, excitedly pointing at the funny-looking ships that had saved their homes. Meanwhile, in Imperial Command, analysts pored over data from the battle. Admiral Voran, though reluctant to admit it publicly, was impressed. "These humans are extraordinary," he admitted. "Not in appearance, but in strategy, coordination, and adaptability. They have turned our expectations upside down." Colonel Drax responded grimly. "Admiral, we cannot continue underestimating them. Our entire approach to humanity must change. They are not weak. They are not simple. They are dangerous in ways we do not yet fully understand." Back in human space, Kira addressed her officers. "Today the galaxy saw humanity's true strength. Our ships are not polished, but they are powerful. Our fleet is not the largest, but it is the most adaptable. And our people are capable of anything when united by purpose." Lieutenant Patel smiled. "They'll think twice before laughing at us again." Kira allowed herself a rare smile. "Perhaps, but laughter is irrelevant. What matters is action, preparation, and courage. Humanity does not seek to be feared, only to be respected, and respect once earned lasts longer than fear." As the human fleet returned to orbit around secure systems, preparations began for further missions. The Empire would not remain passive forever. They would study, plan, and likely attempt to challenge humanity again. But humans had proven that ingenuity, strategy, and unity were stronger than appearances, larger fleets, or even overwhelming firepower. And somewhere in the distant stars, the Empire began to understand that their laughter had been premature, their assumptions flawed, and that humanity was rising as a force no one could ignore. The galaxy would remember this day, the day when the so-called ugly ships of humanity moved with precision, struck with intelligence and emerged victorious against one of the greatest powers in existence. And humanity, underestimated but unyielding, had only begun to show its true potential.